Gibby, what do you got for us?
You could let's be clear about this.
You lost to $2,000. Welcome back to Gus and Gawny. Off the back of a really nice win against Port Adelaide over there Thursday night in Adelaide.
Yep.
Angus.
It's always hard to win over there. They've got a real hostile environment, and was really proud of how we got the job done. Maxwell, back to your best.
Yep.
Clunking everything that came within your airspace, which was good to see.
I went home Friday and I do my normal phone calls to Mum, Dad, Jess, George. Didn't pick up George, but a lot of friends and family, and not one of them kept watching after quarter time. Apparently it was a bit of a dull game.
Yep.
But I heard Rick Lever, probably not the best spokesman, Gibby and Steph. I know it's your choice who to put on after the game, but
yeah, for a boring game, you probably don't go and pick the most boring bloke at our club,
especially someone who loves a game that's 10-0 as well. So that's probably on you.
To be fair, it was his first game back, so I was trying to find an interesting angle out of a game that, as you said, wasn't necessarily pretty.
Okay.
That was it.
And you chose Rick Lever. Well, anyway.
But what we got to start with, for those that follow Angus on Instagram, it was Danielle's birthday yesterday, and I posed the question 2 weeks ago of what we're going to get Danielle for her birthday.
Yep.
And
look, we threw it out to you guys, and just want to thank you all very, very much for. There was an absolute wave of suggestions that came in. Some interesting ones. I think I was going to ask you about this one, Gibby. Tickets to a Michael Bublé concert was one that really stood out. And I know you're into the music scene. Is he around at the moment, or is that just?
I did hear on the radio late next year, maybe early next year.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't look into that. I hadn't heard that the Boobs was in town, and that's a stupid gift if he's coming next year. That doesn't make sense.
Sheeran's in town next year.
Still, like if the birthday's yesterday, probably couldn't be tickets 2 years down the track. So didn't get the Boobs. There was a lot of sort of night stays in like a cottage in the woods or something on a winery or something along that line. I didn't go down that option, and then. It sort of came to me in a bit of a moment after the game. Danielle had messaged me something along the lines of, "Well done, I had a great night. I was out with a few mates for it was a birth. You know how girls have birthday weeks.
Yep.
What's with that?
I don't know. It's a thing." Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, I'm out with the girls." And I just absolutely am in love with margaritas at the moment. And she's like, "We should make them more at home." And super perceptive.
Pizza or the drink?
Margarita, the drink. She's gluten-free, you know that.
Yeah, I did know that. But there's gluten-free bases.
Yeah, there is. So I didn't get my girlfriend a gluten-free pizza-based subscription for her 26th year. I decided to get a margarita. So there's like 6 crystal stemware margarita glasses and a...
so you went with glasses again?
Yeah, decided to go back to the well. And I got her one of those cocktail shake and make it kits, copper, stainless copper.
Yeah.
So, went back to coward. I'm a coward.
Must all have advice to go somewhere else. You went back to glasses. And
Look, I honestly thought long and hard about going out on a limb, and then this one just came into my wheelhouse and said, I can't risk it yet. This is what I know. I know it works. You know what I mean?
Where did you? No choice. Just a question. Where did you get the glasses from? Was it somewhere in Visit Melbourne?
Yep. So I'm glad you brought that up. It's I've got some feedback from Melbourne, and a lot more people have been visiting.
I've never been tagged more in a post than you doing this video. It's a great video. I'm not sure if you've seen it. You've seen it?
Absolutely. Great watch.
And it is interesting. We can break it down. I've no legal obligation.
You haven't been to any of those 7 places. So apart from that day.
The way it worked, and if you haven't seen it, just type it in Visit Melbourne and you'll see it's about a minute and a half. It's essentially, it's supposed to be an advert to bring people back to Melbourne. And Danielle and I got this big thing, and it was fill out things that you like doing in Melbourne. And all the things I put in there just got thrown on the scrap heap. So you'll know, Max and Gibby will maybe know that I don't drink coffee.
Yep.
Not a huge...
While you're drinking coffee, you say the quote, "Take advantage of the long break, play a 4-quarter game."
Yep. Yep, and so we'll get into that if you want to break it down totally, which it sounds like you do, which I'm happy to. So not a huge coffee guy, and when I say not a huge coffee guy, never drank coffee. You know me, not a massive street art guy.
Yeah.
Not a massive art guy.
Have you been to Hosier Lane before in your life?
I think there's a restaurant on there that maybe we went to once. What's it called? That restaurant?
Chin Chin.
It's near
it's near. I don't think that's on Hosier Lane, is it?
So not a massive street art guy and absolutely not a large live music band sort of guy. So never been to, what's that one that they said that we go to? Sydney Mire. So I haven't been to like half of the things. They didn't put Holy Moly in there. They didn't put the board game cafe in there. Do you remember that?
Marche.
Yeah. So all those things that I said.
In the end, there's nothing like the roar of the crowd than play on with a cheeky low ball.
So that was also something that interests me. And I'm just wondering who watches this video with the script that was put together. Rose from the AFL did a great job of putting the script together, but I'm wondering who she's marketing to.
So you, actually, I think Danielle did a don't argue on you while having an Aperol spritz.
And the quote is, that's got to be a free.
Yes.
So when Will Smith handed his Oscar back, they shipped that one straight onto me for the for that line. That was some of my best
So it was
work.
Beautiful. I mean, visit Melbourne.
Did you feel more inclined to visit Melbourne then?
I think it's more the fact that they've gone with you too because of the package that Danielle brings.
And it's interesting that you bring that up because all the feedback from her mates have just been super positive. Like, that's the best ad I've ever seen. Like, that's incredible. Like, so well done. Oh my God. Like, you look amazing. It's such a great ad. Like, awesome stuff. And then, as you can probably imagine, probably not as positive on my end.
I think you come out of it all right, considering, except for the photos jumping in the air.
The stills are no good. And the way they did it when they did that, I was like, you can't be and she was like, no, it's going to be okay. Like, we're going to chop it up really quick so it won't look super lame. And I mean, if I had hindsight's 20/20, Gibby, but when you freeze frame some of them, they don't exactly look, they don't look too great. But it was a good day. We split the cash up straight up the middle. So Danielle, she had the best time of her life. And and I hope people look at that and visit Victoria more.
Show some courage, go back with a flight, lower the eyes and enjoy a little team bonding with the best view in town. That's what we'll leave it at.
So you've gone and literally got all the quotes there, have you?
That was the best part of the thing, was the script. And what was her name? Hayley?
Rose.
Good on you,
Rose. It's pretty close. But no, I did that. That was good fun.
No, well
and
done.
it was also funny. They kept postponing it, and they postponed it when the day we actually did it was the Essendon versus Geelong blockbuster at the G. So all the places we were walking around, there was just drunk nuffies everywhere. And
I would have thought your 7 would have been obviously Royal Melbourne Golf Club.
Not in Melbourne, not historically in Melbourne, but
No. But like, have you got to pick your 7? It's Visit Victoria, isn't it?
yeah. But my bit is so Darcy Vesio did the Carlton one.
Yeah.
Darcy Moore did the Collingwood one. Matthew Richardson, I think, did it for Richmond. So they're looking for.
and you're Melbourne.
So yeah.
Okay.
Look, we made do with what we can. It was good. We had good fun, and we're laughing about it now, aren't we? So that's all that matters.
Let's talk footy.
Sure.
Footy. Ben Brown obviously won't be playing this week. He got a 1 week suspension in the VFL.
It's an interesting one. You know, one day in 2000
Is this are we going at this one live?
2011.
Okay. We're going there.
Brendan Mavola played for Casey, and we had an all-in fight down at Werribee. All-in. Cops involved. People jumping the fence. Like, it was crazy. 2011. And Casey were well and true. Like, Feb was the reason this whole thing started. And Wade Lees, who actually had gone over and played NFL. He was involved, and there was a lot going on. And then tribunal that week, the VFL gave Casey a $500 fine, and Feb just paid it. And that was it. $500 just for the team. Feb just said, I'll pay it. And it was one of the. I was in fear of my life for 20 minutes.
Were you on the ground?
Yes, I was.
So what were you doing?
I started on the bench though, but I managed to get on the ground.
Wow.
Illegally.
Sure.
Anyway,
Probably part of the
that's
fine
neither here nor there. Ben Brown got a week.
Yeah, not the good news. Good news, Harry Petty played in that game, got through, trained today. Have you got an update? Because
he trained well.
Yeah, he did.
He's in the mix.
I didn't really watch.
Didn't you? Oh yeah, you were doing
Just a bit of load management. I'm 26 years old now, so I need to start managing a few loads here.
One day I'll get it. That tap on the shoulder and say, hey mate, you've been here for 13 years.
Well, you had about 10 knee recos.
How about just sit this drill out? Just a drill. I'm not asking for a day. I just want to drill.
Captain's Day, you were nowhere to be seen.
Just one drill. No, I mean, you know, I sit on match committee, of course. I don't. But Petty.
Unreal.
Petty is well and truly.
Are you picking him? So what's our weekly thing?
Well, Joel Smith is also back with health and safety protocols. That you laughed at.
Max gone. Nathan Light of
and
COVID.
obviously Lever has come back in recent weeks as well. So it's an almighty squeeze. We knew this was coming at some point when the team was injured and whatnot, and Salem still to come back in your spot. Which would be interesting.
Still to come back. Premiership defender.
Will this put you back to the wing?
Who knows? To be continued.
Not in JJ's spot.
Are you picking? Well, I think there's room for all of us in the Wingers Club. We take all comers. Are you picking pets this week for your speculative
I'm picking
10?
Petty, but I'm not dropping anyone.
Sure.
Yet.
So we've got. We're breaking the rules. Probably pay a $500 fine, similar to Casey, 2011, and that'd be good. He did look good today.
Speaking of wingers, I did some Langdon research. He's run the most kilometres on the ground every game that he's played this year, and the most high speed. So averages 16 kilometres per game, 3.5 high speed. Essentially just dominating, and also obviously getting the footy as well. So a nice little positive update.
Do you reckon we can get a winger as the All-Australian winger?
Nah. Lingers and I had this conversation last year when he was the Lingers hype was huge.
Yeah.
And he said something along the lines of they just pick midfielders every single year and just put them out.
There's another winger dominating as well. Isaac Smith is seriously dominating.
Well,
so could you potentially get a little push? I mean, we know if we put our minds to it, we can get that job done.
If we put the collective social power of our podcast hashtag capabilities,
I'm not sure about goal of the year anymore. I saw Shy Bolden's and I'm a bit up in the air now. I'm not sure.
No. The thing is,
do you know the best thing? So we should push this Lingers goal of the year because Lingers reckons that he will never, ever, ever go to a Brownlow.
He will be like in a...
But he will have to go to the Brownlow. And he said he'll pay the fine. But he has to go collect his award if he wins.
Yeah, and Carr, that's... I think he'll go...
I want to see him in that suit.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see him in a suit that he's not allowed in and they stop him at the door and get him to change.
I think
the goal of the year is now sponsored by Rebel, so...
Oh, what, did you get like a $500 voucher?
No, he'll get some bouldering gear.
We'll give him a Sporting Globe voucher.
Yeah, we will. Speaking of Sporting Globe vouchers for Lingers-related activities, we've got actually a few Sporting Globe vouchers to give out. So we reached 10K, which was great.
Yeah, that was exciting.
There was a bit of a hitch, obviously, in our execution.
We had a false attempt.
Where we went a little bit early on the 10K post. We didn't get there. We had another podcast. We pumped it up.
We had a lot of people just commenting their friend that already followed.
Yeah, so we got there now. We're going to select the live. We're going to do it live. We're going to pick
so this person gets a $200 Sporting Globe voucher.
Yeah, so you just say stop. I'm going to stop.
Can they use that at any Sporting Globe?
I have to assume they can. Any Sporting Globe venue.
Stop.
So Paige B. Freeman has actually commented 2 names. So Paige.
So who gets it? Paige or the people she's...
That's a great question.
You set it up.
Okay, Paige. Yeah, okay. Paige commented. So actually we'll check
on the
Paige
profile.
does she follow us?
Yeah,
she follows us. So Paige B. Freeman.
Should have locked myself out.
She locked herself. Okay. Paige.
Well done, Paige. Hopefully you get this because you've locked yourself out of Insta before buyer.
So we'll get in contact with the social media team and we'll show you, forward you on to the right people.
What happens if you're under 18? I'm sure you can still go and
you can get some. Yeah.
Just before our guests that we're keeping as a surprise, but everyone will know who it is just by the Spotify.
Sure, they'll just look
come in and ruin that. Well done to Paige.
Yep. We've also got some Sporting Globe voucher. Hopefully she's over.
Have we got much Wild Sun?
We do. We have a bit of that, but I think we might just get to our guest now and maybe circle back around to that later.
Okay, we'll come back. Now, Gus, we all know the team at Zurich Insurance are proud sponsors of the Gus and Gawny podcast.
Yes, absolutely. Huge supporters of the pod. I think they were our first sponsor and certainly our first platinum partner, which is a huge result.
Yes, and they've also been on board as a co-principal partner of the club since 2018 and have been protecting Australia for over 100 years.
That's right. They provide insurance for individuals and families, plus businesses large and small.
Now, Gussie, we know you're a big fan of protection, rocking your helmet at every chance you get, so this is very on brand for you.
You're absolutely right. To see how Zurich can support you, head to zurich.com.au or contact your financial advisor or broker. Welcome to Melbourne, the home of footy.
Melbourne is our home ground, and these are some of our favourite ways to play.
Kick through the corridor. Melbourne's laneways are the place to find great coffee, fun street art, and pay tribute to Australia's greatest rock band.
Show some courage. Go back with the flight. Lower the eyes and enjoy a little team bonding with the best view in town.
Take advantage of the long break. Play a 4-quarter game.
And win the contested possession. Don't argue.
That's got to be a free.
Don't be afraid to guard your bit of grass.
There's nothing like the roar of the crowd. Then play on with a cheeky low ball.
And some fancy footwork.
Here's to weekend goals.
Welcome back to Gus and Gawny. Quickly thank the sponsors. We can't do this without Zurich.
They're the number one. Great for insurance if you're looking for any
you're
sorts
a big
of...
Zurich man.
Yeah, I know. I was looking for life insurance the other day. Went straight there.
That's good.
Problem sorted.
Sporting Globe, as we've given them many mentions throughout the podcast already.
And then...
we have a lot.
Let's can them because we've got a potential exciting one today.
We've got a chance of getting one.
We've got a live fish on the hook.
First of all, we've got Mark Choco Williams. Welcome, Choco.
Yes, it's been a long
build-up.
time actually. I've been waiting, checking my texts, emails, nothing.
Yeah. We stopped short of the sponsorships because you're actually a small business participant yourself.
Yes,
And
that's true.
what do we got here? The Sharon Precision Footy.
Yeah.
Which we have a lot of corporate partners, and we usually get Spargs. Spargs is our corporate man.
What does this line do here?
It's a spin line. It actually confirms whether you hit the ball properly, and
How does it do that?
people can they keep working on it and reassessing themselves, and they finally get it right, don't they, Max?
How do you think the boys have recepted?
Received, probably.
Received a better word.
I think recepted.
Is recepted not a word? But he almost answered recepted.
I think he understood
I
you
can
were asking.
understand. I'm a teacher. You
He's a
understand?
teacher,
yeah.
I deal with a whole
Range.
How have the boys received the precision balls?
Well, there's some are a little bit recalcitrant.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why?
Yep,
That
it is.
a word.
Hold on, what does it mean?
I heard it once.
What does it mean?
Oh, a bit like hesitant to embrace the
You're
product.
just using because that's the context he put it in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, what?
You don't know what that word is.
Recalcitrant, obviously.
Paul Keating was the one that dropped it first.
Sure.
Who's that?
Oh, Max, go on.
Anyway, no, the players absolutely love it
Yep.
and advocates for it.
Big time.
They sell the word to all the people they see, how much it's improved both individually and the team's performance in kicking. So
Before we get to sponsorship chances with Gus and Gawny, which I'm sure you're willing
interested
to do
in.
precision, how much of a kickback do you get for every
Per
three Melbourne
Sharon.
Football Club buys? Because we've gone for a lot of precision
Not
footies.
very much, actually.
Paul Roos is in the man shake and gets $2 every man shake.
Right.
Do you get $2
Do you get $2 a pill?
Yeah.
Wow.
something like that? That's a good effort.
So you don't need to work.
Yes, I do.
You don't need to be here. You're here for the love of it.
Well, it seems sometimes I'm here for the love of it.
So Ed Langdon with his
I'm here to
coffee-
win premierships. That's the only reason.
Well done. Good start then.
We delivered.
So Ed Langdon said that if any listener goes to his coffee store and buys a metric ton of coffee, they would get 5% off
Yep.
the...
I can go further than that.
Okay, well, what can you offer us?
Anyone that wants a Sharon Precision ball, they can write Precision 20 at the end of their cart.
Wow.
20% off. Delivered straight on the day.
Can we change that code to Gus and Gawny 20?
Nope.
Damn.
Well, no, that's actually the best...
So what does that get it down to?
deal.
200 down to 180?
No. I think 160 down to take off. What's that? 38.
Real Sharon.
$32.
$32.
Real Sharon.
Yeah, precision one.
That one. The synthetic one's only $40. So
Right.
pretty cool.
Also, well, that's probably the best corporate deal we've got yet. So,
Well, he could almost come in after Zurich on the
yeah,
sponsor
sure.
call.
Actually,
I'm
we'll
looking
work on
after your program.
yeah, well, that's good.
Was
So
Zurich a premium,
Yeah.
platinum, you'd say? You're probably a gold here with this deal.
gold with Sporting Globe.
Yeah.
Moving on. Choco,
Let's talk Choco.
Let's talk Choco. You might not know this. We go back.
You friends?
Going on 20 years, Choco, to the Port Adelaide days.
Don't tell me you're his godfather.
No, not quite. But had an intimate working relationship with one Sticks Brayshaw.
Exactly. He came over as a wet behind the ear boy from Western Australia, coming into the mighty Port Adelaide setup.
Can I ask, and I'm sure there's more people like me that are listening, what's wet behind the ear?
Just new. Had your L plates on.
Yeah,
That's
learners.
a good. Can I use that?
Please do.
Continue.
And he was head of marketing at Port Adelaide. And I really enjoyed his banter, his use of vocabulary. He was just like Gus's and taught me a lot of things. All goes well. There's no such thing. It's augurs. Whatever that means. So I looked it up in the dictionary. He was right.
Yeah.
So then I went with him forever. A lot of fun in the Brayshaw family. And so, it was fantastic to catch up with Gus.
Yeah.
We actually had a couple of kicks with precision before he was even here.
So we come down to Sunday morning and Sticks is like, look, it was Andrew. You might remember Andrew and I were there.
Yes.
And Sticks is like, oh, look, Choco, old mate of mine's come down. He's got these new footies and wants you to try them out. And so Sunday morning we sort of roll in. How's it going, mate? Yeah, down to the end of the park. Next hour and a half is flat out. And not only for Andrew and I, Choco's got Sticks in on the end of the drills, like, get down on your belly, get up, Sticks, turn around, hit the target.
The fact of the matter is, and it goes with parents as well, it's not just the kid. If the parents know how to do it, they're going to help the kid. And, if you actually go online to look at the Sharon website, they have lots of videos, 15, including me with little kids, all the way up to me with Dustin.
Dustin who, sorry? Who's
Dustin Martin, kicking the ball. And, I'm very happy that everyone learns how to actually teach their kid how to kick, whether it's a mum or a dad or a teacher or a coach who really doesn't know how to do it. So all of it's there, and it's the joy of almost teaching your kid how to ride a bike. You taught him how to kick or her how to kick. It's pretty cool.
Well, Sticks couldn't walk for a day afterwards. It was an intense session, and you just about snapped him in half. So a lot of history between Choco and I. It's good to finally have you on here.
Let's talk playing days, because people forget you played.
I don't.
A lot of games with Collingwood, about 130 odd. That'd be right. Yeah, that's where you see best of your success, in terms of your best and fairest and the amount of goals you kicked and whatnot were all Collingwood.
53.
53, 1 year?
1 year.
Wow. Did you win the goal kicking that year? What I want to talk about is Brisbane Bears. Now, I didn't know much about that. So you started when Brisbane Bears started.
Yeah, I was the first person ever signed by Brisbane and got the first kick ever as well. So
did you? Who's GWS's? Callum Ward? No, he's the first goal.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Bernie Harris was the first goal for Brisbane.
Yep. So does that mean you played with Roosie?
No.
Was he later than that?
Just missed him. He was, just a bit later.
Any similarities between Bears and Giants in the way it started?
Oh, yeah, very, very similar. The difference between the Giants and the Bears was that when the Bears set up, they set up with a coach that had never coached before. Probably the admin people, weren't. So almost everyone had their L plates on, as well as
went behind the ears.
Lots and lots of the players were almost discarded, or clubs could nominate people and they could say, no, I'm not even coming. Yep. So Jarman and McGuinness and those sort of players, they were supposed to be Brisbane Bears players, and they said, no, we're not coming, and no one made them go.
Yep.
So, when the Giants got set up, they had the best young players of all time, and Sheeds was there who had coached, and administrators who had done those jobs. So there was more chance that they were going to succeed. But, as much as everyone wants to malign the Bears, we won 6 in the first year. We beat Geelong at Geelong. We won the first game against North under lights. So there's some everyone said we wouldn't win a game. We won 6, 7 and 8 the first 3 years. Yep. Then it fell apart a bit. But I got a lot of, I was thrilled that Brisbane finally got up and started winning, because it made going there worthwhile. If you go somewhere and it just falls apart and then it, becomes a laughing stock, you feel like, well, why did you bother? But the idea of going there and having, some success early, and then it built to be, three-peat side. Unfortunately, they beat us most of the time. But Port went head-to-head with Brisbane in those times, and we beat them more than they never finished top ever. We finished top 3 years in a row, being an interstate side. No one's ever done that.
So you're claiming,
sounds like you're claiming Victor.
87 to 1990, you were a Brisbane Bears, was that? Mm-hmm. And you're claiming the three-peat in 2001 to 2003.
No. I'm claiming the fact that if no one with credibility got off their bum and went there, it wouldn't have been anything. Okay. And whereas GWS, they've had some great young players and set up a lot better. And with the wisdom of other franchises that weren't set up properly in the first place.
Yep, just missed Giants as well. They probably could have won one.
Yeah.
Well, Western Bulldogs prelim.
Close.
That's probably the one. That's probably the year.
I was there that day.
What do you got?
So I'm interested. You spoke about your time at Port Adelaide, and then you also touched on now you've done a lot of work with the best players ever at GWS, the best young players, and you do a heap of work with our DNA Academy. Is that a passion you've got, working with young players? DNA is the David Neitz Academy, the first second, third year players all get in there.
You have to graduate to get out.
Have to graduate. So is that a passion you've got, working with the young players and seeing them develop?
you know it is. I'm thrilled always. When you get to a certain stage in coaching, what do you get out of it? And can you see people improve? So any of you two, if you improve, and I've had something to do with it, I get joy out of it. But the young players obviously improve the most. And grand final day, I think there was 6 of the DNA players playing, and on the bench there was 5 of them. So we had a famous little photo all together while the game was still going on with 5 minutes to go. Hey, look at this! Let's get a photo. So that was pretty fun.
Were you pulling the tie?
No
tie this time.
No pulling the tie.
And so I'm just interested because you said, and it's great. It's a great passion to have, and you've done some amazing stuff with some of our young players. But I heard a story, and you can confirm or deny this, that you once told a young draft combinee to jump out of a window. How does that sit in your
People say that sort of stuff, but they don't understand it. I do quiz them. You have about 15 minutes to kind of try and work out whether you're going to work together well, and if this is the sort of person you want. So I was trying to work out whether they just are followers or leaders,
Sure.
and that was the contents of it. But would you get it? Did you win the Premiership? Yeah. If you won the Premiership, would you get a tat? Oh, what? Did you get a tat because everyone else got a tat? What if if someone told you to jump out the window? So that's where it come to. But people then say, he just told me to jump out of a window. And I go, yeah, sure I did.
Yeah,
I was pretty confident I failed my Port Adelaide interview.
Do you remember Gawny? Did you interview him?
I'm pretty sure you were at the back corner. Obviously, he would have interviewed 100 kids a year.
Yeah, but he stands out
Yeah, probably at the time, if we had a lot of ruckman, it would be, what's the point? And we're not going to get him. So it was a little bit like that. You do a lot more due diligence on people that you're more likely to pick.
Sure.
So
makes sense.
Neil Craig gave me the hardest time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Neil Craig was brutal with me. I don't know why I've added that, but
Yeah, it seems weird, but that's okay.
I thought it made sense.
Your mum and dad I met the other day. And
they were starstruck.
You were at the Hampton Bakery, weren't you?
16 Weet-Bix for breakfast.
16 Weet-Bix for breakfast.
That was the key.
Yeah.
The key to getting your
I've got George on 2 at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, he's already on 2.
Yeah, just
push him
keep
to 4.
pushing him in.
Who's the best player? I asked you this the other day. Who's the best player? Like, who's Lee Matthews now?
Oh, now.
So you played with Lee Matthews. So there's 2 generations.
Played against him.
Yeah. So you can say Lee Matthews was the best of that generation, was he?
Well, he was almost my favourite player. I used to barrack for Hawthorn, but I always liked Gary Ablett and Wayne Carey.
And then who's the best of this generation? Because you said Isaac Heaney, and I love Isaac Heaney.
You said Isaac Heaney?
But he's not quite up to Dusty yet.
No, I didn't.
No, you said Isaac Heaney.
No, I didn't.
That's. I think we're going to have to.
You're aligned to...
You asked me who is most like Lee Matthews to do with marking and... that's why I picked Isaac Heaney, not to do with if he's the same as Lee Matthews. Come on, Max.
All right. What's the answer to the question? Is it Dusty?
Yeah, it would be Dusty, yeah.
Is that because you're aligned to him?
Yeah. No.
In love with him?
Yeah, all of those things. The career he's had based on where he started to where he got to is just unbelievable, and all credit to him. But his performance in those finals, it's just no one does that. So that stands him out above everyone else.
What about Dylan Shield?
Yeah, very good player. Very good player.
Yep.
Good fella?
Great fella.
Could we get into the Ds?
I think he's tied pretty closely to Essendon, but for those that don't know, he's engaged to my...
Engaged now?
Engaged.
Oh, yes.
When did that happen? Did he ask you?
Oh, yeah, he did.
How'd that go down? You would have made that incredibly hard. That would have been the hardest
The
thing.
hardest thing was we were up at GWS and my, 18-year-old daughter...
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she takes up bike riding, and I said, "Where you been? So all of a sudden, she hasn't come home one night, and we're in this wild town called Sydney, and we don't know anything about it, and she certainly doesn't know any of the area, and strange things happen to nice young ladies, and I'm thinking, what the hell? So I better get out and
have a look,
cruise around, and all of a sudden, I found those 2 together with their bikes. So there it is.
So
that was the start of it.
A little birdie told me the next day you took Dylan Shield out onto the oval and have just cut a few laps, just you and him talking a few things out. Can you confirm or deny that?
No. No, Dylan is a terrific guy. We're very lucky to have him in our family.
Well, congratulations.
God, last week I sit there and watch our game, but then I go to the Bombers game and basically watch him and see what he's doing and how we might help each other or help him to play as good as he can.
Have you worked on kicking in the backyard with him?
Yep.
Okay.
Is it with one of these?
Yeah,
Is he good with the spinning?
He's improving all the time.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't get the amount of time that you
Sure.
guys get.
You're very loud on the bench. That's one of your strengths.
Yeah, it was really good when there was no crowd, wasn't it?
Everyone could hear.
I didn't need to run.
Which takes me back to a game against Doggies. There was no crowd at the MCG, and I was on the bench, and Choco was going at his best,
Sure.
yelling. And Taylor Duray had the ball in his hands, and he turned to you and told you to shut up. I've never seen that. An opposition player had the ball in his hands and looked at you, which means you're winning.
Got in his head.
You're winning.
exactly.
Got in his head.
I remember a game down in here, Marlborough Chol was having a set shot, and he almost turned around in his set shot and told you to shut up.
Yes, well, you would know that having been at so many clubs, there's a connection almost either through the staff or the players, and so when it comes to game day, I'm about the D's. I'm about winning. So if there's anything I can do, I'll do it.
Well, you said, and I'm just going to have to pull you up there, Max, because you said Choco at his best. Now, I've got a story, Choco, and I've told a few of these. Again, confirm or deny, give it some colour if you want. A story of you probably if I was to say Choco Williams at his best, I've heard that you once had a ballroom sort of style dance with the late Princess Diana. You just want to give some context to our listeners there? I'm sure you all know who it is.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it?
Never
so
heard
that
of
would be a lie. Am I lying? Is that what you're saying?
No, the truth is I did get to dance with Princess Di. She was a lovely lady, and it was Victoria's 150th celebration. It was a couple of big tents in Kew Gardens.
How did you get the invite?
Captain
Well,
of
it's a
Collingwood?
long story, but Ranald McDonald, who was the president at Collingwood at the time,
Ronald McDonald.
Ranald, he owned the Age newspaper as well.
Yep.
His wife, Trish, okay?
Trish.
got that?
McDonald, yep. Ronald's wife, Trish.
Ronald's married to Trish.
Yeah. So Trish's parents, one of them was Prince Charles's nanny.
Oh, you're
so
kidding.
the mother was Prince Charles's nanny. So when they came out, they said, you need to have a get-together with the McDonalds. So they put on the big show. And people like John Bertram was there. There was someone named Gould. He was the Australian polo captain. And there was Peter Brock. These are all Collingwood supporters, if you like. And Lou Richards and me. You know, I didn't know anyone else in the whole room. My girlfriend at the time, now wife,
Sure.
absolutely loved the Royals.
Yep.
And I go, no, I'm not going to this rubbish. Anyway, so dressed up, away we went, and we're sitting, couldn't be further away from the Royal table up the front. And there was no phones back in those days, so I'm sitting back there thinking, what the hell am I doing here? You know, I'm talking to Lou Richards. Good on you, Lou. I talk to him every day. And then anyway, Trish, the wife, comes and grabs me and says, Mark, I'd like you to meet someone. And there's a dance floor and there's the original Glenn Miller band. There's 5 of the original Glenn Miller band there doing their thing. And for those that don't know, I'm a phys ed teacher and know how to dance.
Sure.
Okay, so put that in the context.
There's
I
some
know how
great
to
context.
They
Yeah.
teach dancing in phys ed.
Yeah,
Well, you just know how to move your body, control your body.
No. We taught dance.
Sure. Okay.
We taught
right.
proper dance. So I kind of, my legs are jelly going across the dance floor to sit right next to the princess, and you know, met her and introduced and had a chat to her for a while, and then got up the courage to say, well, would you like to have a dance? So
And she said,
100%.
You asked her.
100% I did. Wow. And so away we went. And, yeah, that was one of the thrills of my lifetime, and spent 20 minutes chatting to her.
Yep.
I didn't get to meet Prince Charles. He was at another table. So they were bluing at the time when you look at it now and all the information, but
Lucky you.
I didn't realise that. But the next week she went to dance with John Travolta.
from Pulp Fiction.
Exactly
the
right.
classic dance scene at the...
Which
Yeah,
one?
and
who's better?
apparently,
Which one do you reckon she enjoyed more?
wow, I had more moves than he did.
Can you imagine, Choco, have you seen Pulp Fiction?
No.
That's the most classic scene ever.
I'm a modern day Travolta fan. I watch Wild Hogs.
Well, just watch Pulp Fiction, the classic scene. Choco, that's unbelievable if true, and all my mail says it is. I mean, I've seen Travolta move, and
He's wonderful.
he's got some incredible moves.
100%.
That's incredible. That's a true story.
You know, when you try and put a card on the table of who you met from footy, that's pretty good. Because I was thinking about that 6 degrees of separation, and having met her, it meant that I'd met, you know, almost everyone in the world.
Pretty much.
You know.
So that means I've met everyone in the world.
Well, that's exactly
I've met
right.
you.
No, all of that stuff. So it's quite remarkable.
Is Dusty still one?
Or Princess Di.
Or Princess Di?
Did I say anything about Hugh Jackman?
Wow, is there a Hugh Jackman story?
Yeah, well, Hugh come to. He was.
You didn't ballroom dance with him, did you?
Well, close. I used him as a prop.
There you go.
Yeah. So you're better
And
than Hugh.
apparently he remembers it to this day as one of his special occasions.
Wow.
Okay.
Because Chad Corns and he are mates still.
Yep.
They call themselves the Wolf Pack.
Of course.
Of course, they did the
good on
weights and all that stuff when GWS at Bondi doing weights and stuff together.
Yep.
And Chad asked him, "Do you remember the day?" So we were playing the Crows. We're down at half time, and I look around the room, and Hugh's in the room. I grab hold of him, bring him over to the group. Say, imagine this guy. He gets the opportunity to perform in front of you once. You go there with an open mind. If he doesn't deliver, you think he's crap. He's here today. Seeing you blokes, you need to deliver.
Yep.
You get that story?
Inspirational. Yeah, I'm with you.
Did he love it?
He said, I had no idea what this bloke was doing. After the game, we were down at half time. After the game, we win.
Wow.
He's in the circle singing the song. How
Was he?
Awesome.
How cool.
That is very
How
cool.
cool, hey?
Wow.
So put them in order. Number one,
Oh, no.
Dusty Di.
Dusty first.
Dusty Di. Hugh.
Princess Di 2. Sorry, Hugh. If he's I know he's a listener, so he's probably flat at the moment, Hugh, but top 3. That's not bad.
Lame is too. I love the.
he's a thespian.
He's unreal.
Hugh, isn't he?
He is unreal.
All right, let's
People
go.
who can sing and dance. You know, I absolutely love musicals. I go all the time.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Hamilton coming up soon.
Have you seen the Harry Potter musical?
Yes, I
Did you
did
like
say-
that?
Yeah, I love that.
Do you like actors as well?
Sorry.
Do you like actors?
Yeah, I
you
love my what do I do? Kind of, I go to the movies. I love the movies and always have. Chariots of Fire was the movie I saw. The
Great soundtrack.
The day off before the grand final in 1981, and you know, having been a phys ed teacher and seeing those guys,
The guys running along the beach.
Vangelis,
Have you
of
seen?
course. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
Blindside, one of my favourite ever movies. I've seen it probably 50 times.
Have you
Choco.
seen Gus's performance in the
Gawny's-
Visit Melbourne
Gawny's a
commercial?
bit wet behind the ears, mate. He doesn't know anything about movies.
No, I haven't seen
You
it.
haven't seen Gus's.
It's
All right, let's go. I want to go
Oscar-worthy.
serious.
Is that new?
Let me go
It's
serious.
Oscar-worthy.
Really?
Let me go serious.
I'm a thespian, mate.
Shut
Sorry.
up.
Don't want to cut most of this out.
Let me go. No, they won't. Trust me.
We are a no-cut podcast.
Best moment in coaching.
Oh, it's definitely winning the Premiership. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
It's,
Which one?
Well, I've only won one as a senior
okay,
coach.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, you mean the Melbourne one? Well, I'm going to tell the Melbourne supporters, and I know most of the people here would be, there were 2 occasions, no, probably 3 in the last 4 games, us coming back at Geelong and the great man here delivering that goal.
Yep.
Like sliding doors, how the hell did this ever happen? And then the next moment, I've never seen a ruckman or someone kick 4 goals in a quarter, especially a ruckman.
Yep.
Bouncing it out of the bloody centre bounce. Like, come on.
Let alone 5 in a game. Yeah,
5 in a
crazy.
game. 5's not bad
Yeah.
in a final.
But 4 in a quarter is pretty
Some
special.
people kick 6, but
Yeah.
at the MCG, which are probably harder to do than
you win
over at
it?
Perth, of course. And then getting back to the story.
You've lost your track.
Yeah, I did lose the story. But of course, then seeing the change of momentum, the end of the third quarter in the grand final, there was some just brilliant moments. So I really enjoyed those. I sat back and some people said, "Oh, you didn't even react." I go, "Oh, what the hell is going on here?" It was just unbelievable. So special moments.
I get the Port Adelaide. That's the greatest.
No,
highlight.
you don't quite get it, but those at Adelaide Oval, you'd see up in the grandstand, Foss Williams grandstand.
Yeah.
Your father.
My dad had won 9 premierships at Port Adelaide. The Williams family, out of the 37 they've won, we've been involved in 22 of them. So for Port Adelaide to then go out of the SANFL into the AFL, can I be the one that says we belong and we are credible? And
yes.
It was terrific to be able to deliver that for my family as much as the Port Adelaide tradition that's been there forever.
Can you potentially park your bias of going for Port Adelaide while you're at Melbourne?
We have noticed that.
What bias?
There's a bit of that.
You're a strong Port Adelaide supporter.
You have to understand. I only come up when that idiot is. Can I let us say idiot? Simon
say
Goodwin.
what you
That won't get out.
go.
Yeah, that's good.
He's on about the Crows. Now, Crows and Port, we just don't let it go. So as soon as Simon attacks me, I'm straight back at him.
Yeah, I love that.
And he starts it.
So after we win a game against Bombers on a Friday night at the G, the same game, Port Adelaide and Adelaide are over in the derby playing over there. It's three-quarter
showdown.
time. It's half time, and Port are up by 12 points at half time, and Choco goes, Adelaide again, absolutely smashed in the derby, and trying to get the boys to erupt. A few people said, yeah, good on. It ended up being one of the closest games of all time, and Adelaide won.
Yeah, I went a little early.
But where I was getting at, so of the 6 years, 7 years leading into the Port flag, amazing with the Port family, what that means. But then going away from AFL, so you're at Richmond, you're at the peak of your powers potentially as a coach, and then randomly you end up at Werribee. And you're proud of the stuff you've done at Werribee, but then coming back into the system.
You forgot I went to
Ajax
and GWS as well.
Ajax Football Club, all Jewish boys
Yep.
that played
I
there.
played against Ajax. I
It
was
was
a Norman boy.
quite amazing that I got that opportunity and was terrific, and it kept me in footy, if you like, because I could have been, I don't know, delivering telegrams or something. Who knows?
Selling Sharons.
So I was very happy to stay in footy and thankful for that opportunity, and then to get to Werribee, the same thing, but out of the blue, just got a call to come and help you guys.
And you've never turned back. You look like you love it.
I love every minute of it.
The boys feed off your energy.
love it. I love it. I love it being here at Casey Ground.
Beautiful Casey.
They're not a sponsor of the podcast. We can talk. We don't have to mention Casey, do we?
We do.
They're a sponsor of the podcast.
It's wonderful.
But with the new oval at Gosh's Paddock,
Oh, can't wait.
can't wait.
Can they get the grass on it soon?
Last question. What school? You grew up in Adelaide, is that right?
Emmanuel College.
Yeah.
Undefeated in one particular year. I don't want to say who was captain that year or anything, but undefeated.
Was it you? Yeah.
Against all the big clubs around South Australia.
Yeah.
Who else went there? Sean Wren. You remember Sean?
Yeah, big 52.
Yeah. Then we had Leighton Hewitt,
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
Kyle Chalmers.
Yep.
So that's
The swimmer. Olympic champion.
You would have had nothing to do with Lane Hewitt or Kyle Chalmers.
well, Leighton and
He's a big
his
Adelaide
dad,
guy, isn't he?
His dad and I played footy together.
Yeah.
So I have followed Leighton. I saw him win at 16 at Memorial Drive where we trained the other day. And Kyle, my brother coached Kyle, and Kyle's dad played football for Port Adelaide and the Crows. Brett Chalmers.
You know everyone, don't you?
Yeah, he does.
Well, a lot of people are connected, and that's the truth. And it's just fantastic to see it. Similar to Erin Phillips the other day. You know, I babysat her when she was a little kid because Greg and I played at Port and then at Collingwood together, and so I followed Erin's career all the time.
Which reminds me, we need a babysitter
Yeah.
Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
What time?
2 p.m.
No worries.
You can do it?
Yeah.
That's good. How
Experience.
exciting is that? All right, well, we'll say something endearing to Choc, and then he'll follow it up with something endearing about me and you, Angus.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Without a doubt, the most incredible story I've ever heard is the Princess Di one on this podcast.
Hugh Jackman's right up there as well. Grabbing him into the circle in a GWS game is phenomenal.
So thank you for coming on and sharing your stories.
Sorry.
Port game versus
game.
Crows. It was a
That
showdown.
was a showdown.
Big.
Not a derby. He calls them derbies as well. I don't know if you picked that up. They're showdowns in Adelaide, mate. They're Q clashes in Queensland
Yeah.
and they're derbies in Fremantle.
And
Max
you're-
is stuck in the Victorian Central.
Yeah.
Can't help himself, can he?
Stuff
I don't
that,
know if there's any other footy.
Get yourself outside.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Some teams play 12 away games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not us.
No chance. No chance.
We get grumpy when we go down the road to Marvel. And now this is where you say thank you.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
thanks
You're
for having
incredible.
us.
It's been great. It's one of my most favourite interviews of all time. I encourage everyone to listen and they'll get better.
And
If
watch.
they got to this point of the interview, they deserve a thank you.
So thanks for listening, everyone. And see you next week, probably.
Hooroo.